Love, love, and real friendships can actually make you live longer. Not in a poetic way, but in a biological way. Hello, my name is Hasna, and at this point you should already know me. If you don't, then you missed your whole life. The third, maybe. Do not keep missing out, hit the bell icon because I post every day. Let's start then. Science says that people who have strong relationships, who feel connected, loved, and supported, something you don't have, that's why you're here. Anyways, those people live longer, and not just a little longer, because people with that relationships have up to 50% higher risk of dying early. That's the same level of risk as smoking. Let that sink in. Being lonely can be as dangerous as smoking. So what's actually happening? I'll tell you. When you feel loved and connected, your brain reduces the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, so your heart rate goes down. And the parasympathetic nervous system gets activated, which is also called the rest and repair system. Also, hormones like oxytocin will increase. That will lower the blood pressure and reduce inflammation and strengthen the immune system. But if you feel lonely and disconnected, the complete opposite happens. You stay in a constant low stress response, as if you are in danger. Cortisol increases, inflammation increases, and your sleep gets worse. And over time, this weakens the heart and the immune system, and it speeds up the cell aging. It speeds up aging at a cellular level. And the research found that loneliness is linked to higher risk of having heart diseases and strokes. And if you are waiting for me to mention the name of the study, the place or the year or the authors, what are you taking me for? Wikipedia? Hear the information and go search it yourself. Anyways, another thing that people do not realize is that loneliness does not just affect how you feel. It affects also how your brain processes the world. When you are socially disconnected, your brain will become more sensitive to threats. And studies show that lonely people have increased activity in brain regions that are linked or responsible for fear and rejection, which means you start interpreting normal situations more negatively, neutral situations more negatively. You become anxious and more guarded and more mentally exhausted. Not because your life got harder, no. It's just because your brain is now constantly scanning for threat and for danger, without that safety that comes from connection with someone else. And if you care about your parents, you should definitely hear this. Research also shows that people with strong social connections are less likely to experience cognitive decline, like memory loss or dementia. In a way, see, as connection is like a mental exercise. It keeps the brain active. It challenges the language, the emotional processing, the memory, the thinking. And when you are isolated, your brain gets less stimulation. That's why over time, certain cognitive functions can weaken faster. Loneliness also changes your behavior, but in subtle ways that will affect your health on long term. When people feel socially disconnected, they are more likely to sleep poorly, sleep more, move less, eat irregularly, make impulsive decisions. Over time, these small behaviors will build up and affect the health much more than you realize. One of the longest studies ever, the Harvard study of adult development, found that close connections, close relationships are the strongest predictor of long-term health and happiness. People who socialize more live longer than those who don't. And even small interactions count. And it's not about having a million friends. The quantity does not matter, but the quality does. Having just one person who sees you, who understands you, who loves you really, who wants the good for you, who you can talk to with no filters is enough. And here's the part that nobody speaks about. It's not just about receiving love, it's about giving love. Giving love also and showing care, showing love, showing appreciation makes you healthier. Because research shows that giving love through, for example, volunteering has direct effect on your health. They found that people that volunteer in a regular way have lower levels of cortisol, which is stress hormone, and reduced inflammation, and a better immune function. And it's often called the helper's high. You literally get high when you help someone else, because your brain releases dopamine, which is the motivation chemical, and endorphins, which are chemicals that can make you experience happiness and pleasure and a mild euphoria. And literally that improves your mood. And long-term studies show that people who volunteer in a regular way have lower mortality risk than those who don't. So if you are chasing a better life, do not forget this. You can have everything you want, but if you're lonely, your body will feel it. And if you have love, even in a simple, quiet life, you are already holding one of the most powerful things for a long, healthy life. So text your friend, call your family right now, show love, build real connections. Not because it's nice, but because it can keep you alive one day. And as always, I love you, and I see you tomorrow in a new video. Bye!